Shalom, this is Midad Yahuah ben Yashra'al with Living Branch Worship Center. And you're watching this video because you received a bookmarker that one of our members or myself passed out to you. And the purpose of this video is to walk you through the scriptures and the Yahuah, or the New Testament, and just show some things to you that you might have missed, because we don't want anyone to miss the kingdom, because the kingdom is at hand, and we want to make sure that everyone that has belief in the Messiah and belief in the Father come to the knowledge of what he requires and what he's looking for. And this bookmark is designed to help you to get there. If you have any questions, you can email me at bookmark@living-branch.org, or you can give me a call at 804-588-9808. And of course, our website is living-branch.org. So let's get started. Okay, our first part is the Messiah's salvation. So let's look at Matthew 5:17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Now, the first thing you'll notice, you'll see that there's a superscript there for law. And if you trace that word back, and we'll be doing that later on, you'll find that right there, law is Torah. Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible that the Father gave through Moses. So let's keep reading. Luke 24, verse 44. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which are written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. So the law of Moses is referred to as the Torah. Modern day, they call it the Pentateuch, the prophets, and the Psalms. That's what is called the Hebrew Bible, or the Tanakh. And just so you know, the New Testament, or renewed covenant writings, are considered what we call the Yahuah, or the New Testament writings. Let's go to Matthew 5, verse 18 through 20. This verse will bring a lot of understanding. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now, there we have some idioms. Least in the kingdom is basically telling you that they're not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven for breaking the commandments. And of course, in order to make it, you got to do and teach. They're going to be the ones that are called great in the kingdom. Okay, let's continue our journey. Now, here's a big question. What is the will of the Father? Well, let's go to Matthew 7, verse 21 through 23. Not every one that saith unto me, Sovereign, Sovereign, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Sovereign, Sovereign, have we not prophesied in thy name? In thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Now, the first thing we want to do is figure out what iniquity is. Now, when you look that up in the Greek number is 458. You will see that it's from 459. But 458 means violation of law. So those that violate the law, the Torah, will not make it into the kingdom. Because the will of the Father is that you do his commands and statutes and precepts. So look at what they're doing up in verse 22. They prophesied in his name. They even cast out demons or devils. And they also did many wonderful works. But notice what he tells them. Then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Those that do not keep the Father's commands and statutes, violate his laws, will have to depart out of his presence. Okay, let's go to St. John 12, verse 49 through 50. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment that I should say, and what I should say. And I know that his command is life everlasting. And whosoever I speak there, and whatsoever I speak therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. Now I have a reference there. I didn't put it in the text, but I want to read it to you because it will help you understand more about this. And we're going to 1 John, the 1st Yahuah, the 3rd chapter, and we're going to look at the 22nd through the 24th verse. And it says, and whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. And this is his command, that we should believe on the name of his Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, and love one another as he gave us commandment. And he that keepeth his commandments dwelleth in him, and he in him. And hereby we know that he abideth in us by the Spirit which he has given us. So these commandments are referenced all through the writings and also through the Tanakh, Old Testament, that we have to keep his commandments and statutes and precepts and judgments. Okay, so what is lawlessness or sin? This is one of the greatest things that people miss. Okay, let's go to 1 John 3:4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So sin is basically violating the laws. And we'll get to the laws here, the Torah, shortly. Let's go to St. John 7:49. But this people who knoweth not the law are cursed. Okay. So now you may ask, how do I get eternal life? I can't tell you how many times over my religious life that I can tell you that I've read this verse and missed it, but I'm going to help you see it today. Matthew 19, verse 16 through 17. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good sovereign, what good thing should I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Elohim. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. Now I'm going to let you go and reference, look up those references, because I think this is something we really have to search out. So let's look at the commandments. Okay. And they're very simple. They're not too hard to keep. Very simple. If you want to keep them. And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuah. Now this is often mistranslated as the Lord. Thy Elohim, which is often mistranslated as God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other mighty ones before me. Thou shalt not make thee any graven images or any likeness of things that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am Yahuah, thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Now notice what he does here to those that love him, showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuah thy Elohim in vain, for Yahuah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy or set apart. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Shabbat of Yahuah thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thy, nor thy sons, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Therefore Yahuah blessed the Shabbat day and hallowed it, or set it apart. Okay, let's continue on. Exodus 20, verse 12. Honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahuah thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass or donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So there you have it. Now, how to make it into the kingdom. Okay, we've read this one before, and I just want to read it again. Okay, and it says, and behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? That's talking about the kingdom there. And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Elohim. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. So we just read Exodus 20, 1 through 21, but I'm going to read it again because the Father is pure, righteous, and it will help us to see his pure righteousness. Starting with verse 1. And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Elohim, I am Yahuah thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other mighty ones before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of things that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow thyself down unto them, nor serve them. For I am Yahuah thy Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. It almost sounds like what the Messiah said in St. John 14:15. If you love me, keep my commandments. Okay, let's go to verse 7. And thou shalt not take the name of Yahuah thy Elohim in vain, for Yahuah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat, to keep it set apart. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Shabbat of Yahuah the Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thy nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is in thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuah made the heavens and earth, the sea, and all that is in them is, and rested the seventh day. Therefore Yahuah blessed the Shabbat and hallowed it, or set it apart. Honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahuah thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. And all the people saw the thundering and the lightning and the noise of trumpets and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not. So he wants his fear to be on us, to keep his commandments so that we don't sin. Remember, sin is the violation of the law or his commandments. Okay, let's go and look at truth. The scripture is true. Run over to grab your Bible. If you didn't already have it, you need to go ahead and grab it. We're going to read St. John chapter 15, 1 through 27. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you, as a branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except you abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch, and is withered. And men gather them, and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, you shall ask what you will, and it shall be done. Herein is my Father esteemed or glorified, that ye bear much fruit. So shall you be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. Listen to this now, verse 10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my command, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his sovereign doeth. But I call you friends, for all things that have I heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you, that you shall go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain. And whatsoever ye shall ask the Father in my name, he may give it you. These things I command you, that ye love one another. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the words that I said unto you, that the servant is not greater than his sovereign. If they have persecuted me, they also will persecute you. If they have kept my sayings, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hateth me hateth my Father also. But I had not done among them the works which none other man did. They had not had sin, but now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. But this cometh to pass, that the word might be fulfilled that is written in their law. They hated me without a cause. But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceedeth from the Father, he shall testify of me. And ye also shall bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning. Okay, let's jump over to St. John, the 16th chapter, and we're going to read the 1st through the 33rd verse. These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogue. Yea, the time cometh, that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth Elohim service. These things shall they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. But these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, ye might remember that I have told you of them. And these things I say not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you. But now I go my way to him that sent me. And none of you asketh me, whither goest thou? But because I have said these things unto you, sorrow has filled your heart. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient for you that I go away. For if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you. But if I depart, I will send him unto you. And when he is come, he will reprove the world of what? Sin, and of righteousness, and of judgment. Of sin, because they believe not on me. Of righteousness, because I go to my Father, and ye see me no more. Of judgment, because the prince of this world is judged. I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth is come, he will guide you unto all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, he shall speak, and he shall show you things to come. He shall esteem me, for he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you. All things that the Father has are mine. Therefore said I, that he shall take of mine, and shall show it unto you. A little while, and ye shall not see me. Again, a little while, and ye shall not see me, because I go unto my Father. Then said some of his disciples among themselves, what is this that he saith unto us? A little while, and ye shall not see me. And again, a little while, and ye shall not see me, because I go unto my Father. And they said, therefore, what is this that he saith, a little while, and we cannot tell what he saith? Now Yahushua knew that they were desirous to ask him, and said unto them, do ye inquire among yourselves of that I said, a little while, and ye shall not see me, and again a little while, and ye shall not see me? Verily I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, because the world shall rejoice, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. A woman, when she is in travail, has sorrow, because of her hour is come. But as soon as she has delivered the child, she remembereth no more the anguish for the joy that a man is born into the world. And ye now therefore have sorrow, but I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice, and your joy no man taketh from you. And in the day you shall ask me nothing. Verily, verily, I say unto you, whatsoever you shall ask the Father in my name, he will give it you. Hitherto have ye asked nothing in my name, and ask, and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full. And these things have I spoken unto you in Proverbs. But the time cometh when I shall no more speak unto you in Proverbs, but I shall show you plainly of the Father. At that day you shall ask in my name, and I will say not unto you that I will pray the Father for you, for the Father himself loveth you, because you have loved me, and have believed that I came out of Elohim. I come forth from the Father, and am come into this world again. I leave the world and go to the Father. And his disciples said unto him, Lo, now speaketh thou plainly, and speaketh no proverb. Now are we sure that thou knowest all things, and needest not that any man should ask thee. But this we believe, that thou camest forth from Elohim. Yahushua answered them, Do ye now believe? Behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come, that ye shall be scattered, and every man to his own, and shall leave me alone. Yea, I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These things have I spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So, what is righteousness? Okay, we have to go and get a definition for this, because to be righteous is not what most people think it is today. So let's go to Deuteronomy 6:25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahuah our Elohim as he has commanded. So to be righteous means to do the commandments. It's not just morally living good, but it's to do his commandments. Let's go to Isaiah 51 verse 7. That's Yashra'al. Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law, or Torah. You can clearly see if you go look that one up in the Strong that it says Torah. Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be ye afraid of their reviling. Okay, now I want to take you back to the father of faith about belief and what belief should cause you to do. Okay, let's read Genesis or Bereshit 26 verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Look there. He kept his Torah, his instruction, his laws. Okay, let's keep it moving. So let's look at Genesis. Bereshit chapter 18. And I hope so far you're understanding and grasping that you have to keep the Father's commandments. That is what is pleasing in his eyes. Not my eyes, but his eyes. So let's read here. Genesis 18, starting at verse 1. And Yahuah appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself towards the ground, and said, My Yahuah, if now I have found favor, or commonly called grace, in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourself under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts, after that ye have passed on. For therefore are you come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of meal, kneal it, and make cakes upon the heath. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto the young men, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf, when he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I have waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my sovereign being old also? And Yahuah said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I have certainly bear a child, which I am old? Is anything too hard for Yahuah? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou dost laugh. And the men arose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went from them to bring them on the way. And Yahuah said, Shall I hide from Abraham that which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after me, and they shall keep the way of Yahuah to do justice and judgment, that Yahuah may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. Did you just catch that? What the Father said about what Abraham would do. He would keep his commandments. And Yahuah said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because the people's sin is grievous, so they were breaking the Father's commandments, because that's what sin is, remember, violation of law. They were violating his commandments that had been passed on through the generations down through Abraham. I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if now I will know, And the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before Yahuah. Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked? Who are the righteous? The righteous are they, according to Deuteronomy 6:25, those that guard his commandments, those that keep it, his commands. Peradventure, there shall be 50 righteous within this city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein, that be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and the righteous shall be as the wicked? That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And Yahuah said, If I find 50 righteous within the city, I will spare all the place for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto thee, Yahuah, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure thou shalt lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Will thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, If I find 45, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again and said, Peradventure thou shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, Oh, let not Yahuah be angry. I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahuah. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy for 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not Yahuah be angry, and I will speak yet, but not this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found. And he said, I will not destroy for 10's sake. And Yahuah went his way. And as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. So I hope you got those points that I showed you out of Genesis 18. If you didn't, rewind it, and because we really need to get this so that we can make sure we're observing the Father's commandments. Okay, now let's go to Genesis 26, and let's highlight a couple of things there. There was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the land the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, at Gerar. And Yahuah appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourning in this land, I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and will perform the oath which I swore unto Abraham thy father. I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of the heaven, and will give unto thy seed all the countries. In thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill him for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw and beheld Isaac having sport with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac, or Yitzchak, and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how sayest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have leaned upon thy wife. Thou should have brought guiltiness upon them. And Abimelech charged all the people, saying, he that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in the land and received in the same year 100-fold, and Yahuah blessed him. He was blessed because he did what Yahuah had commanded him to do. And the men waxed great and went forward and grew until they became very great. For he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and great stores of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servant had dug in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much greater than we. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Yisachar or Isaac dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their name of the places by which his father had called them. And Isaac or Yisach's servant dug in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdsmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the place Ishik, because they strove with him. And they dug another well and strove for that also. And he called the name of that place Sidnah. And he removed from thence and dug another well, for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. He said, for now Yahuah has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba, and Yahuah appeared unto him the same night and said, I am Elohim of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and will multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there and called on the name of Yahuah, and pitched his tent there. And there Yisachar Isaac's servants dug a well. Then Abimelech went unto him from Gerar, and Ahazath, one of his friends, and Pekol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, therefore came ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you. And they said, we saw certainly that Yahuah was with thee, and we say, let there be an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee. Let us make a covenant with thee. Thou wilt do us no harm, as we have not touched thee, as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of Yahuah. And he made a feast, and he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betime in the morning, and swore one to another. And Yisachar Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass in the same day that Yisachar or Isaac's servant came and told him concerning the wells which they had dug, and said unto them, we have found water. And they call it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took a wife, Yabeth, the daughter of Berah the Hittite, and Bashema, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which was a grief of the mind unto Yitzhak or Isaac and to Rebekah. Okay, we got one more here. Thank you for your patience. We're going to go over to Revelations. Revelations chapter 14. And we're going to look at verse 12. Okay, I want you to listen real closely. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yahushua. So, who lets you into the kingdom? Not everyone that saith unto me, Sovereign, sovereign, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So you have to do the Father's will in order to make it into this kingdom. And his will is that you keep his commandments. The Messiah, who is the high priest and the mediator to the renewed covenant. Let's go to Deuteronomy 18:18. I will raise up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I command him. That's the Messiah. So what's the conclusion? We're praying that the set apart spirit, the Ruach, some in Christianity say the Holy Spirit, will lead you back to the Father's commandments, which is Torah, to the true Messiah, which was born according to the Hebrew scriptures, commonly called the Old Testament. And just so it can be known, the Father's name is Yahuah. The Son's name is Yahushua. Remember, the Messiah came to fulfill the law or Torah and the prophets according to Matthew 5:17. And not one jot or one tittle shall pass away from the law until all is fulfilled. So I got one question for you, one final question. Has all been fulfilled? The answer to that is no. Revelations 21 verse 6. And he said unto them, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, or I'm the Olive and the Tav, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of life, of the fountain of the waters, the fountain of the water of life freely. Then his law still stands. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us at bookmark@living-branch.org or give us a call, 804-588-9808. And I really appreciate you having patience to listen to this presentation going through the bookmark, and I hope that you will endeavor to try to keep his commandments and statutes, because his commands are everlasting life.